Welcome to the Coolroom. Park your butt in front of the box and get comfy because today we're putting some seriously sweet action on display. This week we make a splash with some cliff diving maniacs. Get a diploma from the University of Nutbag with some building base jumpers. Bust a spoke or two with legendary downhill mountain bike rider Steve Pete. And say g'day to the ladies of women's wakeboarding. G'day ladies! With all this and plenty more, there's no place like the Coolroom. When I was told we were going to feature drag racing this week, I was under the impression we would be watching men in skirts legging it out over an athletics track somewhere. Now that I realise they were talking about motorsport, I'm slightly more excited. It was tacos for dinner last night, and strangely I know exactly how that car feels. Even though there are no men in drag, with a crowd full of petrol heads like this, I'm sure we won't be short of any she-males. These puppies are the fastest things on four wheels. And running so hot, it's not uncommon for them to just burst out into flames. And if I'm going to be watching motorsport, there's nothing I like more than a few flames. He knows the score. Here we are at the mighty Bujagali Falls in Uganda, where the waters run like a wildebeest stampede, crushing anything in its way. No one would be crazy enough to get amongst these rapids, right? These boys are all smiles as they take on the monster rapids, clutching nothing but an empty jerry can for buoyancy and a set of iron plums for composure. These Bujagali party boys love to just kick it riverside, playing their favourite splash game as they watch their mates float by. Now that's a set of abs you can set your watch to. This local Ugandan tribe is renowned for floating down the river and risking their lives for any tourist willing to pay a small sum of 5,000 shillings. This guy's hanging on tight because he knows if he lets go, his hard-earned shillings will go to the person who has to fish out his corpse downstream. His famous tribal elder, known in these parts as Fitty Shilling, busting some moves Ugandan style. He's just released his debut album, In the Mud, and is looking to party down. You the man, Fitty. Here we are in the beautiful France, home to exquisite wines, exotic cheeses, and the most famous French-acquired taste, Gérard Depardieu. Translation, don't even think about taking a dip. No fancy French signage is going to stop these surfing bad boys. When thinking of world-class surf breaks, France usually doesn't come to mind, but this place is home to some awesome consistent breaks. Throw in the sweet nightlife and all the topless honeys roaming the beaches, and France is definitely up there with the best. France's killer beach breaks are found on the west coast of Europe. The only downfall here is the sometimes chilly conditions. But any surfer with a wetsuit will tell ya, blue lips and shrinkage is a small price to pay for a ride like this. Getting dumped by one of these French monsters would be more painful than watching a Pink Panther marathon. Maybe not that excruciating, but it wouldn't be pleasant, that's for sure. These are some of the best tube riding conditions on the planet. Most surfers will search far and wide for a break like this, and a lot of the time France is looked past as an option. After a win like that, there's only one place to go. Back out for some more surfing. Now from frog's legs to pickled herring, let's check out southern Switzerland's very own Saas Fee. The Swiss are world renowned for their ski runs, and with scenery like this, paired up with the friendly locals and pumping nightlife, you'd have to be mad not to strap on some skis and give it a go.
It's the first time that I've been in this place for a while, and it's funny how it's so easy to fake a smile. And I don't know exactly how long I'll stay, but while I'm here, I know I'll be okay. I hope you'll be okay. I know we'll be okay, I guess. And I saw my reflection in a river yesterday.
This place makes most ski resorts look like the bottom of a soiled laundry basket. They like to keep the runs pretty natural here at Saas Fee, and the snow junkies aren't complaining.
So I pulled into town on the tip of a friend. Disaster was in the air, and I realized why I never come here much now.
These boys are performing at an intense level. I've never seen acrobatics like this. It must be all those sexy Swiss ladies on the sidelines. If they can't motivate a man, then you're just lazy. Kicking up the powder in Swiss country. I don't think it can get much better than that. Although these plums might not look very sizable from this vantage point, looks can be deceiving, and after seeing what these guys are about to get into, it's amazing they could squeeze into those speedos at all. Now that the initial budgie smuggling competition is over, we can finally get stuck into some insane diving action. Come on, these guys should get a minimum 8 points for even stepping off that platform. Now that's more like it. Ouch, that bum's been spanked harder than Governor Schwarzenegger's personal assistant. And he's got the marks to prove it. After word got out about the belly flop, over 500 boats, surfboards, airbeds and rubber dinghies all floated in to see the next big spank. Considering we were watching 24 men jumping around in their underwear, that wasn't too bad. Maybe next time invest in some board shorts, fellas. Towering at a massive 452 metres, the Petronas Towers in Kuala Lumpur stands amongst the tallest buildings on the planet. It was only a matter of time before some nutbag decided to jump off it. I get this same feeling lining up at my local curry hut. The rewards are great, but it could prove deadly. Hey, Einstein here came up with a brilliant substitute for the old-fashioned binocular. Not to be outdone by the Kuala Lumpurians, the French decided to jump off their national landmark, the Eiffel Tower. The tower stands at a massive 324 metres high. Hope this guy's had his croissants for breakfast, because this jump isn't easy. Whether you're French or Kuala Lumpurian, it still takes a crackpot to take a dive like this. Let's take a look at the big dog of downhill mountain biking, Steve Peake. Pete's the kind of guy who pedals into oncoming obstacles while most of his competition is still working the brakes. It's this kamikaze attitude that sets Stevie P apart in a sport where disinterest for personal well-being is always rewarded greatly. Stevie P is a mountain biker in all conditions.
I just knew that it was going to be really windy today, so I actually tucked a lot on the bike and just carried on pedaling. And it actually started to snow at the top, so it was a little bit weird at first. But I got into it really good and had a good run.
Stevie can always draw a crowd, and many of his die-hard fans don't mind risking getting mowed down to catch a glimpse of the man in action.
Where's the fact in this heat temperature? 40 degrees as the bug begins to crack. I still hear his tune playing. I still hear his tune.
Before getting his professional stripes, Pete was a plumber and family man. Now with his crack firmly concealed with sponsorship logos, he's never been happier. No matter how Pete takes off, good or poorly, he always seems to ram it home.
It was course, it was pretty short, it was hard. The course was pretty short and you had to go tough from top to bottom. I had a pretty slow top off, so I pinned it at the bottom and it paid off.
And with more broken bones than a rugby player with osteoporosis, Pete loves to take on a dangerous run.
Yeah, I mean, it makes up a lot for the beginning of the season. I've been injured and I've been strapped up while I've been riding here, so I'm stoked to win again. It's good to be back.
Keep it up, Petey boy. You know we love ya. Wakeboarding, women, I'm excited. And so is this guy, because today it's an all-women's wakeboarding competition. These wake riding ski babes really know how to tear it up, and are even putting some of the male pros to shame. And out come the big guns. You don't often see someone wearing pink shorts tearing up the wake like this, but they're my only pair and I am getting better. Right back at you, babe. Wakeboarding's a sport where if you go in too hard, you'll always come out wet. Good work, ladies. Keep it up. Let's check out some free ski action, slope style. These boys know how to kick up the powder in style, taking to the slopes with some serious skill. Here's my mate Pincushion getting fired up for his run. It's time for the Coolroom's patented nutbag cam. Get a mouthful of freezer frost, sit real close to your TV, and ask a mate to smash his shins with a hockey stick, and you'll be living life through the eyes of a ski nut. Good old Pincushion, always out there showing us how it's done. He doesn't know it yet, but this young man is about to throw away any future plans of fathering a family. Let's see that one again. That's it for the Coolroom this week. We're out of here. Catch you next time.